All right, how are we today? Hey, I apologize for not having any podcasts out the last few days, but I was doing my taxes, so that required my full attention. I did get them filed in time, and we're good to go. I don't know if I'll get audited or maybe I don't know shipped to El Salvador, but nonetheless, the paperwork's in. So we're gonna go. We're gonna say it's good. What do you think? And I'm not gonna have a video on today because my I can't get my camera to record. I don't know what's going on. So we're gonna go with this for right now. And let's see. Woke up this morning, and what did I see? I typically what I do in the mornings, not immediately, but in the first few minutes, what I do is I check my Twitter and I see what's trending. I don't know if you do that, but it's a good idea because you can find out for the most part, what's going on in the world in a matter of minutes. You don't have to turn on the news and scroll down through hundreds of stories. But the number one the number one story at what was it this morning? I woke up at 7:30. The number one story on Twitter. And by the way, people can say what they want about Twitter. It is a hellhole. It's a sewer. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. It attracts some of the worst people in the world. Bots are everywhere. Chinese bots are everywhere. You can tell. But at the end of the day, when you want to know something, you want to know it quick. Twitter is absolutely the way to go. X, I'm sorry, I'm over 40, so X. I apologize, Elon. It's X, but the the thing is that's where people go to, um, report certain things, what's going on around the world. And this morning, I went on there, and the number one trending story on X, at that particular moment was the fact that Spotify was down. Okay, Spotify was down. Uh, okay, and I mean, I don't know about you, but I think there are more important things in the world than the fact that Spotify is down. But it had like a million posts based on the fact that a song aggregator, I guess you'd call it. It's a subscription based music platform. You know what it is, Spotify. Joe Rogan's on there. There's a lot of people on there. Actually, I think my show's even on there. But people were absolutely going apeshit over this. I mean, they were literally having meltdowns over this. I've got one up here on the screen that says Spotify's down. And I'm still at work, and it shows the building exploding. It and her smoking a cigarette. I seriously, seriously, that's an issue. That's an issue for some people, and apparently a large group of people, uh, which I find amazing, actually, because let's just think about it. This is the same group. A lot of these people are from the left. These are the people that say there's going to be a civil war. A civil war. Well, I tell you what, if there is a civil war, what we're going to do is we're just going to take uh, Twitter and Spotify and possibly YouTube and make it available only to people who are or Republicans. Wouldn't that be a way to fight these people? Because apparently, if you melt down over Spotify going down, you got some serious issues, and apparently it's everywhere. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. Am I wrong on that? Am I wrong on that you should melt down like that because Spotify is not up and running? I mean, I've seen people go crazy when Facebook went down. I, okay, I'm sure it'll come back up, right? Isn't that what I do? I just go on with my day. How about you? Don't most rational people just continue on with their day and say, "Oh, okay, I'll check back in an hour and see if it's back up and running." Not this group. Now, I don't know who the main listeners of Spotify are. I guess it would be good to look that up. What is the average age of a Spotify member? it would be interesting to know, because if this is the young, if this is the group, let me see. Let me do this right quick. Average age of a Spotify member. Let's see what we got here. To us, well, this was Spotify frequency of use in 2017, 2018. Oh, Spotify users update. All right, let's see what we got here. Spotify has 675 million monthly active users. More than 100 million track. Okay, I got that. Doesn't tell me. 27% of Spotify's monthly active users live in Europe. Okay. I didn't know that. 149 million live in Latin America. North America is only 115. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. Distribution 60%. Basin. Okay. I don't want to know about revenue. Don't care. Well, let's see. Ad-supported revenue. So they're not going to tell me. The one thing I wanted to know, the one thing oh, shoot. Okay, let's do it 2018. Let's just do 2018. That's a long time ago, though. Why is that the only one on here? Statistics show 43% of respondents between the ages of 18 and 29. Okay, that was 2018. Let's just go with that. So basically, Spotify is popular between the people who are ages 18 to 25. Folks, if you're like me, I don't put a lot of stock in that, because I got shoes older than that. Okay, what do these people know? Apparently they are. How would I put this gently? Lost. Do you think they're lost? Because they're going crazy over the fact that Spotify is down. I don't know. In my opinion, that says a lot. It really does, about America and the young. And what would that be? 18 to 25-year-olds are what today? People born between what? Is that Generation Z? Maybe it is. I don't think we have anything to worry about as far as civil war. Uh, I'm not sure these people could serve in the military. What do you think? If you're going to melt down over something like this, I know this is kind of trivial, but it tells you a lot about society and where we're headed. I can't believe that. I can't imagine in my day us going crazy because a radio station was off the air for a few hours. I mean, if you're over the age of 40, that may have happened to you on occasion. Did we go running down the road screaming and yelling? No, we just went, okay, we'll do something else for a little while. I don't know. It just seemed kind of strange to me, and sad, and very sad. As a matter of fact, I don't think people understand what that generation. Now, this is a generation that grew up during COVID. Okay, so 18 to 25-year-olds. That was 5 years ago. So they could have been as young as 13, maybe, and are 20. So they went through that for the last 5 years, this COVID thing. And I think personally, I don't know about you, but folks, and hear me out on this one. You know as well as I do, if you've been looking at any kind of news, any kind of posts, you look at Facebook or whatever, the degree of mental illness in this country right now is off the charts. It really is. You probably have seen it in your own town. You've probably heard it, maybe in conversations you were involved in. I don't know. But mental illness is literally off the charts. Now, what do we attribute that to? Do we attribute it to the fact that, I don't know, that Donald Trump is in office? I don't think so. I don't think that's it. This started in the last 5 or 6 years. Now, has there always been mental illness in the country? Absolutely. Absolutely. We don't have insane asylums anymore. We don't have any place to send these people. So it is possible. Now this is just anecdotal. I mean, this is just my observations. We don't have any place to send these people. We send them to jail. We arrest them. For instance, let's just say somebody's going crazy down at your the local grocery store. They're going crazy. What do you do? What do you do? You call the police. Police come in. Maybe they're yelling and screaming and they're tearing stuff up, and they arrest them. Okay, they get arrested. They take them to the county jail. What do they do with them? What do they do? They process them. They allow them to make bail, and they put them right back out on the street. Now, if it's induced, if this craziness was induced by drugs or alcohol or something else, it will have worn off by the time they get out. Because believe me, you go to a county jail, they're in no hurry to get you out of there. Okay, so you're talking about hours. So eventually, people will come down from that high, and maybe when they walk out, they'll be halfway normal. But the problem is they're going to do it again because what they're trying to do is they're trying to self-medicate for the most part. Maybe they're schizophrenic, or maybe they've got some kind of a mental disorder of some kind. So they're self-medicating, and they really have no place to go. They have nothing. There's nothing, no place to send them. So we've got more of them now. And in my opinion, this is my opinion, I believe that the COVID vaccines had something to do with this. Let that sink in. What do you think? Now, did it affect everybody? No, it didn't. It didn't. But if you were a certain type of personality, maybe you had an affliction that you weren't aware of, maybe you had an affliction you were aware of and were not addressing it, did it exacerbate that and turn you into a crazy person? I don't know. I don't know. It seems like there's a correlation here. I don't know. Again, strictly my opinion, but think about it. Think about what's happened in the past 5 years. I mean, we've got insanity off the charts, and you almost have to point your finger at something. And the other thing is we're really not addressing it. We're really not addressing it. We got so many other problems. We have so many other problems. We've got. I mean, right now, and I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be Trump right now. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to handle this. He's got problems coming in, and nothing goes right. And when you do try to do something right, you're lambasted for it. For instance, well, let's see. I tell you what. Before we get into that, I want to get into this thing. This is amazing. Another completely different subject. So, did we solve the mental illness in the United States? No, we did not. But we did bring it up as a problem, and the Spotify thing kind of points it out. Just an observation. Moving on to Miss Leticia James. Have you heard this one? Have you heard this one? She she is in trouble. Let's see. Let me find it here. Leticia has screwed up pretty big this time. She has decided, or what she did was she decided um, to, I guess, file. And this is really weird. She filled out a mortgage application, and I guess she committed fraud when she did it. She apparently, from what I can read, what did she do? She claimed that her building only had 4 units instead of 5. She claimed that her father was actually her husband in order to get a lower interest rate. And I don't know what all else. I'm just saw this morning. And apparently Trump's DOJ has been handed this case. Trump administration refers New York AG Leticia James to be investigated. Now, this is pretty funny. She She lied on a mortgage application, which absolutely is a felony. You can't do that. She lied about her residence in order to obtain a loan, and she lied about the size of the property to secure a better interest rate. Wow. Now she owns 4 homes in Virginia. And here's the interesting thing. She only makes $165,000 a year. How is that possible? How's that possible? Now, this is the same woman who was going after Donald Trump, trying to convict him of overestimating or overvaluing his properties in order to get loans. Okay. Now there was no victim in this crime. The banks were happy, everybody was happy. Everybody got what they wanted. No one lost money. But this fat ass black woman decided that that wasn't good enough. She wanted to take Donald Trump down. As a matter of fact, she ran on this in her when she was running for Attorney General of New York. She told everybody up front she was going after him. That's what she was going to do. That's what she was running on. And now we find out that she's doing exactly what she claimed he was doing. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing that really, really sets it off. Well, this is one of the things. The main one is the fact you only make $165,000 a year and you got 4 homes. Do you know anybody that makes 165 grand and has 4 homes? Because I don't. I don't know. Now, I may know someone who has a $165,000 salary and has homes that she rents out, or he or she rents out. But apparently, this gal had 2 of these homes were hidden from the public records. Okay. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is the one that really blows me away. How can Leticia James declare her primary residence to be in Virginia when she's the Attorney General of New York? How's that work? That doesn't even make any sense. If she's not from New York and she lives in Virginia, wouldn't you think it would be wise? I mean, wouldn't you think that the rules would apply that you would be a candidate for maybe the Attorney General spot in Virginia? I don't know. I don't know. But she's claiming her dad was her husband. Apparently, her dad must have very good credit or something. I don't know what's going on. But this is the same woman who said that no one is above the law. Remember that? There's a possibility that multiple felonies could be coming down. Now, having said that, um, will anything happen? I don't think so. I don't think they'll arrest her because she's a Democrat. If this was a Republican doing this, they would come down on him or her like a ton of bricks. Now, let's see. Let's read this here. Yeah, karma does have a wicked sense of humor. It does. Yeah, she's screwed. She's in a lot of trouble. Will she lose her position? I would think that would probably be a slap on the wrist that she may get. They may impeach her. I'm not real sure, but I can tell you this much: I bet Donald Trump is laughing his ass off. I would be. Wouldn't you? I mean, talk about payback, and he's the one in charge now. That's unbelievable. I love this. Anyway, Letitia's got her issues now. So anything you say, she says, or you hear that she said, you can take it with a grain of salt. She's a 100% low down corrupt liar. No other way to look at it. Now, what will she do? Let me give you a little prediction here on what she's probably going to use. She's going to now. Let's say she's indicted for mortgage fraud. Okay, we can be absolutely certain of 4 things. Number 1, she will say that the incorrect information in her mortgage applications were trivial administrative errors that she made only because she was distracted by her noble, devout, nation-saving quest for impartial justice against the Orange Man. That's one of the things she'll say. Number two, she will claim that the indictment is motivated solely by, wait for it, racism. She'll invoke George Floyd, and she'll probably take on Jasmine Crockett's accent to make her seem like she's one of the people. Okay. Number three, she will claim that the real criminal is Donald Trump, the evil orange man, and that she is merely a victim of trying to do the right thing as she spoke truth to power. Okay. And number four, she will be lionized. And this is the most important. This is the most important one. Because you've seen what's been going on in the mainstream media in the last 48 to 72 hours over this El Salvadoran gangbanger that they sent back to El Salvador. You can bet this is going to happen. She's going to be lionized by the media as a heroic figure. Okay. That will probably compare her to Nelson Mandela and Joan of Arc. What do you want to bet? Yeah. You can pretty much count on that. That's what they're going to do. And will she get away with it? My guess is she probably will. Is she going to do any time? No, not a chance. Not a chance. This woman, these positions are above the law. They really are. And what will she do? She will double down and probably go after Trump even more. Yeah. But here's the thing. I've got on the screen right now, and it's a report that from the White House official, and it says, and they're talking about Trump here, and it says he's at the peak of just not giving a fuck anymore, said a White House official with knowledge of Trump's thinking. Bad news stories, doesn't give a fuck. He's going to do what he's going to do, and he's going to do what he promised to do on the campaign trail. And I for that, I commend him. And you wonder, because of statements like that, and because of some of the things that Trump's been doing over the past, 90 days, his approval rating, despite the constant barrage of negative stories about him on mainstream media. I mean, they're throwing everything at him. They really are. They're trying everything they can think of to make him look like he made a mistake or this or that, or he's going back on his word. No. He doesn't give a shit anymore. He does not care. He's done giving a damn. They poked the bear. They created this. They created this guy. It reminds me of the Godzilla movies, where the Japanese created this monster, and now he's coming back and he's destroying cities and crushing people and all that. It's exactly what's going on here. You guys caused this. You got no one to blame but yourselves. That's it. So Leticia James is probably going to she may get a slap on the wrist. I'm not saying she won't. But as far as doing time, you can forget it. I don't see that happening. I don't see her doing a perp walk. I mean, you've got people who've done multitude worse things. And where's our latest perp walk? We haven't had one. No one's been arrested. It's the only negative I've got about the Trump administration right now. So, having said that, we'll move on to the next story because I've got a lot to say. This is pretty much, I don't know. It's kind of comical to watch. It really is. Leticia is talking about, and ultimately, it's projection at its finest. The things that she claimed that Donald Trump was doing about his properties, with his properties, is exactly what she was doing. And this just didn't happen last week. 165 grand owns 4 homes. Explain that to me. You can't. Corruption's everywhere. Yeah. And this proves it. 165 grand. Nobody does that. Nobody. So, all right. Now, moving on to the next issue that's been big and one that I am very passionate about, and that is this tariff war with China. Folks, I don't know how else to put this. China cannot be trusted. And I'm not talking about the Chinese population. I'm not talking about them. They're under a communist regime. Okay. You can't blame them for this. Who do I blame for this? I blame the Communist Party, the CCP. The CCP needs to be taken down. Jinping, he needs to be taken out. I don't know how we do it. It needs a reset over there. There needs to be an uprising. They need to revolt against this. They do. There's the Chinese government has, what are they? They're liars, they're thieves, they're as corrupt as you can be. They have not done anything positive in their entire time that they've been on this planet. They steal intellectual property. I mean, for instance, if you make a product over here in the United States, you have to go through a lot to do that in order to get to a certain level where your product is, um, I don't know, advertised correctly, marketed correctly. You get to a certain level where you can start making money. You've spent maybe millions of dollars to get to that point. And what happens? The Chinese get a hold of it, they reproduce it, they make an off of it, something that's cheap made. They'll even use the same name and they'll sell it back to the United States. They steal our intellectual property. They've been doing this for years. And what do? We sit back and we don't do anything about it. Well, finally somebody is. Finally, a man came along who has said, "We've had enough. We've had enough. We're going to take you down." And I'm all for it. I cannot stand the Chinese government. I can't stand China at all. I don't know about the rest of you, but anytime that word's even used, it makes my eyes cross. I cannot stand these people. They're the scourge of the earth. They really are. They did you know that TikTok is not even allowed in China, but it's a Chinese-based app for the United States? Why is that? What do you think they're doing? What do you think's going on with TikTok? I have it on my phone. I do. But what do you think they're doing? They're spying on us. It's real simple. What do you think that balloon was doing that flew over the United States during the Biden administration? What do you think was going on? They were spying on us. Why do you find out? Why do we find out on occasion that there are spies in every uh, every position in the United States, be it the military, be it academia, be it corporate? There are Chinese spies everywhere. Personally, personally, I think they should all be kicked out of the United States. If you are not a American citizen, you can be a Chinese American citizen. That's fine. But I'm telling you what, we need to scrutinize these people a little bit more. I know that sounds racist. That sounds like World War II. Put all the Japanese in internment camps. I'm not asking for that, but I think you should be a little more careful with these people. I mean, Feinstein from California, the senator from California, she's dead now, but for 15 years she had a guy who was her chauffeur, who was a Chinese spy. They know that. You think that's a one-off? Of course not. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. So, in my opinion, the tariffs are the best way to go. This is the best way to hurt them. You got to take them down. You got to put pressure on the CCP, and that pressure's got to come from 1.4 billion people. That's where it's got to come from. People have you got to push. You got to push them. We cannot allow this to continue. We have been getting screwed for generations. We have. They can sell stuff over here, no problem. We try to sell stuff over there, they tariff the hell out of it, so it makes it too expensive to buy. It's real simple. I saw Geraldo Rivera on. He was talking to Bill O'Reilly, and Geraldo had just gotten back from. Excuse me. Geraldo had just gotten back from a trip where he was. I think he went to China, Japan. Um, I don't know, somewhere. I think they were mainly in the Middle East, but nonetheless, he was over there. And Bill O'Reilly, Geraldo was arguing that the tariffs are a bad thing. And Bill O'Reilly asked him a real simple question. When you were in Japan, did you see any American made automobiles? And Geraldo said, "No, I did not." When you were in China, did you see any American made automobiles? "No, I did not." What's that tell you? What's that tell you? That tells you they're a closed market. They don't mind screwing us over and selling their stuff so cheap that it runs everybody else out of business in the United States. That's what happened to our steel industry, folks. They started dumping cheap steel on the market. Our people here our companies in the United States could not compete and ended up going broke. And I don't know about you, but if we're going to fight a war with somebody, I mean, a legitimate war, say China tries to invade us or whatever. I know that's a bit extreme, but I mean, the point is, if we need steel, what are we going to do? Buy it from our enemy? No, that's not going to work. Donald Trump is 100% correct about this. I've said it for 20 years. You have to bring the manufacturing base back to the United States. It's that simple. Now, if you want to buy let's say wind socks for your garden from China, I got no problem with that. But when it comes to technology, rare earth minerals, steel, aluminum, all that, you cannot buy it from anyone else because they'll hold you hostage. Look what they're doing right now. They're saying we're not going to sell you any rare earth minerals. We're not going to do that. So we're kind of in a tough spot. So we need to start making computer chips, all the technology, all the electronics over here. We need to bring these people. You need to bring that manufacturing base back to the United States. That's what you got to do. And will it be more expensive? Probably. But maybe the quality will be better and it'll last longer. Because when's the last time you bought something from China that lasted very long? It doesn't. I remember this going on back in I was probably in the 60s. The United States was buying everything from Japan. And the joke was, well, it broke, so it's probably made in Japan. It was true. It was true. Same thing here. Same thing here. I'm 100% behind this. Personally, I think the tariff should be 400%, not 145. Get it up there where it absolutely shuts everything down. And you and I will be fine. Do you know that China imports 50% of its food? 50%. Do you know it's the largest importer of petroleum in the world? Yeah. Yeah. If that gets cut off, we'll see how that works out for them. What if we cut their food off? What if we cut off the shipments of food to China? They'd starve to death. They would. They have no farmland over there. Their farmland has been basically, because of the way they do business for the environment, it's poisonous. You can't grow anything over there for the most part. I mean, there is some farming, don't get me wrong, but I mean, they can't. It's hard to feed 1.4 billion people by yourself. You have to import that stuff. So we got them there. They're in a terrible spot right now. Xi Jinping is in a terrible spot. It's been coming for years, and now we finally got somebody in place who's willing to do what he said he was going to do. And I think it's great. I think it's great. I don't know why you would argue that it's not. Is it going to hurt the New York Stock Exchange a little bit? Yes, it has. But I mean, if you look at the chart over the last 5 years, we're way above where we were 5 years ago. Yeah. Is it hurt it day by day? Yeah. But you do over the long haul. This is going to work. This manufacturing is going to come back to the United States. It is. It is. They'll have no choice. They'll have to do that. They'll have to figure out a way to start producing this stuff in the United States. And you need an industrial base, a manufacturing base, especially for large stuff like steel. You have to have that. The car industry, I heard Honda's moving they're talking about moving all their factories back to the United States, taking them out of Canada and Mexico. It's going to be a big deal. A lot of jobs. That's what we need right now. We need to put everybody back to work. We do. So, but then on the other hand, here's what you've got people like this, which is just unbelievable. Listen to this nonsense.
What it did to the soybean farmers, right? And we ultimately ended up having to give them money to supplant the fact that they lost so much money. But this crazy tariff war that nobody asked for, where he basically is invoking emergency powers, the same thing that he did under the Alien Enemies Act, like the fact that no one is questioning it to urban or rural, we know for a fact if we look back.
You listen to them, Chit. This is a congressman. This is Jasmine Crockett. somebody that the left thinks is going to be a leader for the left. Jasmine, she's an idiot. She's I venture to guess say she's dumber than AOC, which is saying something. To listen to her talk about anything, you lose IQ points. You really do. She is a moron. She is a leader of the Democratic Party. Folks, they're doomed. They're doomed. They're fighting against this tariff war. They're saying I don't know what they're saying actually. I guess we're supposed to just take this for the next 100 years from another country. I mean, what is this? This is like this would be like a battered wife, someone whose husband has beat the shit out of him, and you'd be telling them, you really need to leave now, get out of this situation. No, he'll do better. He said he was sorry. I love him, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing. These people are crazy. Anything Donald Trump says, they're against, even if it makes sense. And Jasmine Crockett, my God, I tell you, I was a member of the Democratic Party for years. This is obscene. This is embarrassing that these people are listening to this nitwit. Yeah. So, end of the day, in conclusion with this particular subject, China, I don't give a damn. Do whatever you have to these people. Take them down. They need to be taken down. I cannot stand these people. I'm talking about the CCP, not Chinese people. Okay? I'm talking about the government. Big difference. Talking about the government. They need to be taken down. They really do. Let me see what I've got here. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, we're doing the right thing. We really are. Moving on. Well, actually, moving on. I this kind of goes hand in hand, but next subject I wanted to talk about is this El Salvadorian, I guess, guy from Maryland. I'm not sure where he's from. I'm not even going to say his name. I can't pronounce it. The guy was a member of MS-13. They deported him to El Salvador. Now all of a sudden, the people on the left want him back. I don't understand this. Do you get this? I don't get it. What are we talking about? You want this guy back? In 2018, he was told to get out. And then again in 2020, he was told to get out. He got deported. They wanted him out. He stayed. And then he gets rounded up and he gets sent to an El Salvadorian supermax. And all of a sudden now we're crying about it. I don't care. Send them all out. I say round them all up immediately. Everybody. If you're not an American citizen, in my opinion, today you should be deported back to your country of origin. Okay? I have no sympathy for these people. None whatsoever. If you broke the law and you're over here, and you came here illegally, get the hell out of here. And that includes the Palestinians. These people that are going to school, us paying for it, by the way. And then they have the audacity to badmouth the system that they're living under. Listen to this clown.
More of the message that should be sent to the people here. In that,
now, mind you, this guy's a student. I don't know how you're a student when you're this old. I mean, I never have understood that. 31-year-old student. What is this? What is this? Yeah. But listen to this. This is a guy who's probably here on our dime. He's in America in school, and he's protesting about Hamas and Palestine. Listen to this.
they have achieved victory. We haven't done anywhere near enough. And the people here, I promise you, we do feel ashamed. We do feel like we're not doing enough. We do feel like change needs to come, because change must come. And in the form that it must come is that this empire, the American empire that's been hurting our people since the beginning, the imperial Western powers that have been hurting our people since the beginning, they must fall. And
Did you hear that? This guy's here on our dime, and probably like his girlfriend there to the left. They're here on our dime. And now they're saying that America must fall. These people need to be deported immediately. All of them. All of them. I'm sick of this Hamas bullshit. I really am. I'm tired of hearing this crap. I'm tired of college students who are going out and supporting something that's anti-American. I'm sorry. I have no time for that. None whatsoever. These people should be thrown the hell out of this country. I don't know if you feel that way. I do. And I don't mind saying it. Get this clown out. Listen to this. Listen.
Inshallah, they will fall. And my message to the people of Gaza and the oppressed peoples across the world is that there are people here, both young and old, who are going to be willing to fight and are willing to put their lives and everything they can on the line to bring these empires down, because they must come down.
Because they must come down. What are we going to do with these people? Does that not just make your blood boil? Because it does mine. I can't stand it, folks. How dare you come over here, use our resources, use our schools, use our tax money, and then you badmouth us? No. No. You want to be over in Palestine? You love Palestine so much? Then get on a plane and get the hell out of here. That's the way I look at it. These people should all be deported immediately. If you get caught protesting for Hamas on a college campus, your eligibility should be withdrawn immediately, and you should be put on a plane back home. That's it. That's it. You want imperialism? I'll show you imperialism. I will. Yeah. I tell you what, folks, I'm beginning to think that it's time for a crusade. What do you say? What do you think? These people want us dead, and they'll tell you to your face. It's not even hidden anymore. They don't even hide this stuff. They look you dead in the eye and say, I'm here on your dime, and I want you dead. That's what they want. That's what they want. The Muslim religion should be illegal in my book. And I know the First Amendment doesn't allow that, but it's a hateful, violent religion. It really is. There's no other way to look at it. So anyway, that's all I got today, folks. I'm going to try and get these out a little bit more often. My taxes are done now, so I think I'll have a little bit more time. But anyway, that's all I got today, folks. Peace out. You have a good day.